of sport horse stallions, and then later on thoroughbred stallions available for covering Irish sport horse mares. All the stallions will be registered in one division or another with an Irish stud book, most of them approved by the Irish Horse Board as part of the Irish Horse Register. It gives breeders an opportunity to see a selection of such stallions and to determine which, if any of them, might prove suitable to cross with their own individual mares. Now, 3 years ago, Horse Sport Ireland, which is the organisation responsible for keeping the Irish Sport Horse Stud Book, the Irish Horse Register, announced a new breeding policy. And the aim, and I quote, was and is to produce a performance horse that is sound, athletic, with good paces and suitable temperament, and capable of winning at the highest international level in FEI disciplines, unquote. Under the new stallion classification system, there are now 4 categories. The first is approved, which includes stallions that have met the relevant inspection, performance and veterinary criteria. The second is NA1, or not approved 1, which includes stallions that have met the veterinary standards but have not yet met the inspection or performance requirements. And the third and fourth lower categories don't concern us here this afternoon.
Okay.
In addition to those categories, approved stallions are entitled to wear merit badges relating to their own performance or those of their progeny. It's a star merit system, if you like. Now, to give some statistical information on where we are in Ireland in relation to breedings, coverings and number of registered foals. In 2011 and to 2012, there were 6,930 coverings, resulting in 5,006 registered foals in the Irish Horse Register. 64% of those foals were sired by fully approved stallions. Of particular interest is the breed breakdown of the stallions used for covering. For example, the thoroughbred horse, which traditionally provided the vast majority of coverings to Irish sport horse mares, some 63% back in the 1980s. The number of coverings percentage-wise by thoroughbred stallions in 2011 was only 12.5%. 12.5%. On the other hand, Irish Draft Class 1 stallions covered 17.8% of the registered broodmare population. And Irish sport horse sires, examples of which we see in the ring here this afternoon, covered 26.3%. And finally, foreign bred or warm blood stallions covered 32%, making them by far the most popular category of horse, and this was the highest ever percentage covered by warm blood stallions. In relation to the politics of whether one should use warm blood stallions or not, that's not for us to judge here this afternoon. Relating to where these horses are bred and where the mares are covered on a county basis, it's interesting to observe that Galway had the highest number of mares covered in 2011, some 855 of them. Tipperary, 528 coverings. In the north of Ireland, there were 509 coverings. And the wee county of County Louth had the smallest number of mares covered, 61 in all.
Competitors are now walking the course in the main arena.
So we'll proceed and describe the individual horses in this parade this afternoon for you, and as we do so, we'd ask the stallion handler to bring the horse to the centre of the ring, where they'll stand him up, give him a walk and a trot for you to observe the paces. The details of these horses, if you have a show catalogue, are contained on page 141 under class 47. So the first horse we see is number 326 in your catalogue. This is Loch Cruise, a big, imposing white-grey horse, standing 16 hands. Bred by Tom and Linda McGee in County Armagh. He's owned by James and Geraldine Barney from Gorey in County Wexford. He's by the famous Stallion Cruising, who needs no introduction, out of the Lagoon Prince mare, Loch End Lady.
What?
Loch Cruise jumped up to 1.50 m level in National Grand Prix with Christian Coyle, accumulating 250 SJAI points.
Wait 1 minute.
He's a half-brother to Golda, a very good grey mare that jumped here in Ireland some 15 or 20 years ago, belonged to Lewis Lowry at that time from County Down, and was subsequently sold to Italy, where she competed at the very top level in Nations Cups and Grand Prix.
No, we don't know where they are.
Loch Cruise is also a half-brother to a horse called Nacarn, who was jumping at 1.35 m level before meeting with an injury. And Nacarn was the property at that stage of the Army Equitation School. And on the eventing side, another sibling of the dam of Loch Cruise was Ballystockart, a 3-star eventer in England. As a sire, Loch Cruise is also the sire of Lochview Classic Glass, now jumping 1.35 m, and he has 3 progeny at 1-star level eventing. He stands at a fee of €500 for registered mares. As I say, he's located with James and Geraldine Burney down at Muthabower, outside Gorey in County Wexford. That's Loch Cruise, number 326 in your catalogue. The next horse we'll see is number 327, another grey stallion. 327 is Fioristo's Diamond. Fioristo's Diamond is owned by Tommy Brennan from the Coolgrange Stud at Clifton in County Kilkenny. Tommy, of course, has stood many well-known stallions and successful stallions over the years. This horse in the ring is now 20 years of age. He stands 168 centimetres or 16 hands. Bred by the owner, he's by Fioristo, who was by Furioso II, a Selle Francais stallion that went back to Furioso, a thoroughbred horse with Irish bloodlines. On the dam side, Coolgrange Diamond is by Diamonds or Trumps, a very successful and popular Irish draft stallion that represented the Sligo stud in County Carlow for many years. And the Grand Dam was a mare called Coolgrange Girl. Fioristo's Diamond qualified for the RDS as a jumper in his own right, both as a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was retired in 2002 from the jumping rings due to an injury, but had achieved grade C level at that stage. He has a 1-star merit badge based on the success of his progeny, both in show jumping and in eventing. And in eventing, such horses as Rathmoyle King, ridden by Andrew Nicholson, Warrenstown General, and River Valley Diamond have flown the flag for Fioristo's Diamond very successfully. Show jumpers of note by him include Silk Thread, a 1.50 m jumper, and Tankui, who jumps at 1.40 m level. He has had 257 foals registered up until the end of 2012. He's obviously producing the goods down there in County Kilkenny. That's number 327, Furisto's Diamond. The next horse we will have forward is number 328. And we change colour here from grey to bay. This is Gallant Cavalier. He's a 13-year-old horse owned by Jarlath Cummins from the Clonburn stud, Glenamaddy in North County Galway. He was bred by Patrick Murphy. He stands 165 centimetres or 16 hands. He's by Cavalier Royale, the famous horse who made such a contribution to sport horse breeding here in Ireland over the years, when owned by John Hughes. And Gallant Cavalier is out of Ballyward Nora by the thoroughbred Dawn Review. Ballyward Nora the dam is a half-sister to the international eventer Whiskey Max, and dam of the eventers Liganani Optimist and Master Cavalier. Gallant Cavalier represented Ireland in the World Eventing Young Horse Championships at Lyon d'Angers in France in 2006. He accumulated 52 eventing points himself and, very importantly, retired sound in 2009. Approved in 2005 as a stallion by the Irish Horse Board, now part of Horse Sport Ireland, his first crop are now 3-year-olds. And I'm told that he's had his genetic profile tested by Weatherby's and that there is no red factor in his genes, which means that he will not produce chestnut foals. He's 40 foals registered to him up to the end of 2012, and as I said earlier, being by Cavalier Royale, he, along with Chippison, Garrison Royale and Driach Dove, are the stallions that represent that great sire today in Ireland. Dawn Review, the broodmare sire of the Horse in the Ring, was a winner of 9 races, including the Windsor Castle Stakes at Royal Ascot and the Esher Cup at Sandown Park. Gallant Cavalier's full brother, Master Cavalier, has accumulated 39 Eventing Ireland points to date. So that was number 328, Gallant Cavalier. So as you see him there walking up the centre classic bay horse, this is Castle Forbes Lord Lancer. He's an Oldenburg stallion, approved here in Ireland in 2009. He stands 169 centimetres or 16.5 inches. Bred in Germany, he's by Lancer II, a Holsteiner son of the great Landgraf. And on the dam side, Castle Forbes Lord Lancer is out of a mare called All Day Long, an Oldenburg by Aldatus, who in turn was by Aldato, the sire of one of the international horses in the main arena this week. And the son, Aldatus, the sire of the dam of the Horse in the Ring, was himself a very successful stallion for William Bill Kennedy down in County Kerry. Castle Forbes Lord Lancer was a 3-star international jumper himself when ridden by Jessica Curtin for Lady Georgina Forbes. He was approved, as I said earlier, in 2009, and he has a 3-star badge of merit from Horse Sport Ireland based on his own performance. He's used for breeding solely by artificial insemination, which is quite a common occurrence nowadays, and he stands at a fee of €600 for registered mares. When competed by Jessica Curtin on the international circuit, he won or was placed at such shows as Olympia in London, Birmingham, Bordeaux and Neumünster in Germany. As a 5-year-old, he got a bronze medal at the Young Horse Championships in Warendorf in Germany, And in the following year, as a 6-year-old, he achieved fourth place. He has produced 5 or 6 stallions on the continent to date that themselves have been registered as approved stallions in various stud books in Germany and elsewhere. One of them is La Calido, a very nice grey stallion that has just recently finished his first season jumping and is very promising, if not exciting, young horse and a stallion for the future. The goal for La Calido, the son of Castleforbes Lord Lancer, is again the National Young Horse Championships for 6-year-olds in Warendorf. 5 other stallions have been approved so far by Castleforbes Lord Lancer in Germany, France and Spain. The first his pedigree, I'm told, is recorded reliably since the year 1700. So a horse certainly with a long pedigree, a horse that's bred to get jumpers, and the sire of 5 or 6 registered stallions already on the continent and now available to breeders here in Ireland. That's number 329, Castleforbes Lord Lancer. By Jim Doyle from Uskerty outside Castlecomer in County Kilkenny. A chestnut horse, as you can see. He was foaled in 2006, which makes him 7 years of age, and he stands 166 centimetres or 16 one hands and a little bit. He was bred by the exhibitor, and he's by the performance stallion Carrick Diamond Lad, who in turn was by that great stallion Flagmount Diamond, who stood with the late George Nesbitt up in County Monaghan. On the dam side, Uskerty Sweet Lad is out of a mare called Sweet Rufo, who was by Ruffo, a thoroughbred horse, and the Grand Dam Con's Sweetheart was by Sweet Con. Uskerty Sweet Lad has been jumping in the show jumping arenas of Ireland, and ridden by Killian Dunn, is competing at 1 metre 30 level and has to date accumulated 88 SJAI points. As a 3-year-old, he was 3rd in the elite loose jumping final at Cavan Equestrian Centre. His sire, Carrick Diamond Lad, is represented by several progeny in the show jumping classes here in Dublin this year, and other progeny are competing on both the show jumping and eventing fields, including a good young horse ridden by Camilla Spears, the Irish Olympic rider. The Grand Dam Con Sweetheart has produced successful performance-winning horses such as Bobsleigh, Green Forest and Master Ballantescan, which was a Grand Prix show jumper formerly ridden by Eddie Maloney from County Kilkenny. Standing with his breeder and owner Jim Doyle from Castlecomer, the service fee for this stallion is €400 and he is available through artificial insemination. That's number 330, Uskerty Sweet Lad. Now, from a chestnut horse, we'll move on to a black horse. This will be number 331, owned by Kieran Kennedy from the Kennedy Equine Centre at Ballyard, Tralee, but standing at the Kennedy's Stallion Station at Croke, outside Adair in County Limerick. This is Future Trend, an Oldenburg horse approved in 2007. Very unusual to see a black horse, but we're seeing one here today. He's now 13 years of age and was bred in Germany. He's by the Selle Francais stallion I Need You, who was by the great show jumping stallion I Love You, which won the World Cup jumping final in Vienna in 1983. On the dam side, Future Trend is out of the mare Generale, which was by the great Hanoverian stallion Granus, and the Grand Dam Gentry was by Argentinus, another well-recognised sire of show jumping horses. future trend himself. Moving on then, we come to number 333. 333 is Bellevue Swahili. He's owned by Ruth Loney Glendenning from the Bellevue House Stud at Rich Hill in County Armagh. And of course Ruth is best known to us as a very fine equestrian journalist who has travelled the world reporting on major equestrian events. This liver chestnut horse is an 8-year-old standing 16 2 hands or 168 centimetres. He was bred by Pat Keogh from Michael in County Carlow, and he's by Highland King out of Dawn Girl by Kildalton Gold, which is a classic Irish show jumping pedigree, many would say. He is a full brother to no less a horse than the 2008 British Event Horse of the Year, Ballinacoola, and is by the United States acclaimed Event Sire of the Year, Highland King. Highland King, of course, was by Highland Flight, a thoroughbred horse that stood in Sligo Stud and was responsible for Carley and various other top horses such as Top Flight and Kilkenny Flight. This stallion in the ring was purchased by Ruth as a foal and was the last colt foal by Highland King. Highland King was out of the King of Diamonds mare Ashling, and Ballinacoola, the full brother to Bellevue Swahili, has taken first, second and third positions in the 4-star Burley horse trials in his day, and was also fourth at the Rolex Kentucky trials. He was also placed in badminton several times when ridden by William Fox Pitt. Due to lack of pure Irish sport horse lines in the stallion ranks here in Ireland nowadays, Ruth Loney, who had purchased the horse as a foal, decided to keep him to provide such a horse for Irish breeders, and I think you'll agree that was a very good and a very magnanimous decision. This year he has produced only colt foals so far, including one in Yorkshire for John Dodson, who's one of Peggy French's leading owners and producer of Bellevue Chinchilla, who also came from Ruth Loney as a 3-year-old. Broken and ridden away, Swahili is mainly retained for breeding by natural service at Bellevue House Stud. He scored almost top marks for pedigree at his first Horse Sport Ireland inspection in Cavan, and his sire Highland King also sired the Beijing Olympic silver medalist McKinley, who was Horse of the Year in the United States in one of the recent years. And Peter Smith from County Tyrone, the professional show jumping rider, also has a horse by the same stallion. So that's Bellevue Swahili, number 333. So from County Armagh we'll move to County Mayo, and we come to number 334. And I don't have to describe the colour of this horse to you because he is a very colourful horse. This is a Western Warrior owned by Liam Linsky from the Derry Ronan Stud at Swinford in County Mayo and bred by P.S. Marshall in England. A Western Warrior is by a stallion called Castellani, a Tracaner in terms of his genetic makeup, but registered with the Dutch stud book KWPN. On the dam side, he's out of a mare called Jorinda, who was one of the preferent mares or top class mares in Holland, and she in turn was by a horse called Sambar, which is where the colour comes in this stallion in front of us today. Sambar was a coloured horse who did jumping and dressage himself, and is the sire of John Whittaker's show jumper Uj van Epkeron. A Western Warrior lightly competed up to 1.20 m level. He has a mixture of dressage and show jumping bloodlines, and his owner feels he's the horse that may produce ideal eventers in the future. His eldest crop here in Ireland are 4-year-olds, and I'm told they're very promising in the eventing discipline. His sire, Castellani, was Stallion of the Year in 2009 and was one of the most influential Trakehner stallions in recent years. Castellani himself was successful in dressage up to Prix Saint-Georges level and is the sire of 10 approved stallions, including the champion stallion Gribaldi, who not only had international Grand Prix dressage career, but is one of the leading dressage sires in the world. Gribaldi is responsible in turn for producing horses such as Painted Black and Moorland's Tortillas, which are among the very top dressage horses. Moorland's Tortillas was a world record holder after his victory in the European Dressage Championships in Windsor in 2009, and a Western Warrior, the horse in front of you, is the only direct relation of that horse here in Ireland at stud. The dam of a Western Warrior, Jorinde, is one of the top KWPN mares, as I mentioned earlier. As a 3-year-old, he was placed second in her age group at the mare show in Oman, and was also one of the few 3-year-olds that was nursing a foal at that time. She went on from this notable start to earn her star badge of merit, and then elite status, and then finally the preference, the status in Holland. A Western Warrior, like I said, has been lightly competed up to 1.20 m. The mixture of top dressage and show jumping bloodlines, as I said earlier, are felt to be ideal for him to produce eventing horses in the future. That's number 334, a Western Warrior.